Good morning. Welcome to Metadime Digital. This is the channel that brings you great shows like the Coffee Break Show, and I'm Vickie Helm, and I am so glad you are here with us. Happy Monday. Monday is a big day. It's the start of the week, and we get to go ahead and start making success today, and today's show is going to be really fun. I'm so glad. We have a lot of stuff to go over, obviously, in the world, but I am so glad you are here today. Listen, if you're new to Metadime Digital, then this is the network that brings you shows that helps bring you tips and tools and, all kinds of free gifts and things that help you create thriving in your world. And if you're new here for the first time, do me a favor, put your name down below and let me know you. And if you're here and you're always here on the Metadime channel, thank you for being here today. It is Monday and it's the Coffee Break Show. And today we're going to talk about what's happening in the world. And I just want to say happy Monday. Happy Monday, Robin. Thank you for being here. Lori, good morning and happy Monday to you. Thank you for being here. And then happy Monday, Metadime members. And so we got a hi, Lori from Karen. So glad you're here. But today's an important day. Why? Because we are looking at one of the most controversial times in history in this country, and that is to open or not to open for business. So there are, thank you. I don't know who this is, but I'm so glad you're here. And is this Furley? Somebody let me know. This is it. Nice to see you on today. So it's one of the most controversial things right now. We have incredible things in place that could go well or could not go well. One of them is this weekend, Warren Buffett sold, we're talking about what's going on. Warren Buffett sold all of his stock in airlines, in 4 major U.S. airlines: American Airlines, United Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and Delta. Now, when the Oracle of Omaha says, excuse me, let's sell everything in this position, all of a sudden that gives you an idea of what he thinks of the future of travel. So, the Oracle of Omaha doesn't make these kinds of things. He lost a lot of money already, and he doesn't like to lose money. The second thing is the country. The country has gone back. All right, Teresa, nice to see you. Thank you for being on. Teresa. There we go. Nice to see you. Going back down here, I want to say good morning to Jane. Jane Goodhart. Thank you. I love your last name, by the way. Donnie says, good morning. Welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here at the Metadime Digital channel. So listen, the Coffee Break Show goes on every single day. And on Mondays, we pay specific attention to what's happening in the world. Teresa says, hi, everyone. Just now figured out how to let in StreamYard identify me. Good morning and welcome to the Coffee Break Show. I'm so glad you're here. So we're looking at opening the country, and there's obviously 2 sides of that. Is that going to escalate the viralness of this virus? Are we going to be spreading it deeper and wider and stronger? New York experienced a really bad weekend. Although their cases are going down, there are just big chunks of death happening right now in Michigan and Detroit, around the world. And so what the president decided, he said, okay, I can't speak for everyone. I need to allow the governors to manage their own states and manage when they open. And so there is a boatload of people who want to go back to work. They just want to go back to work. They're not afraid of the virus. And then there is some of the people who want to go back to work that because they have children to feed, etc. And some of the people who think it's too premature to open. And so it's interesting because there's a dichotomy between the businesses that don't think it's premature to open, and then the businesses that want to open right now so they don't lose their business. So the question is, we're kind of at the great experiment stage. Like, what is it, Switzerland or Sweden? We're at the great experiment. If we open up, what will happen? And there's, of course, the debate about that. And if we don't open up, what will happen? Those are the things that are being explained. And so last night, the president had a town hall on the weekend, and they were asking great questions. I want to go over here and just say, he even said I was wrong about the whole airline sector. It'll be years before the sector normalizes, if ever. And this was a big thing. I read that too, Scott. I read that too. What's interesting about that is I think travel for a while, all of it is off the board, because what happens? Hey, Ryan, nice to see you this morning. I just want to pop in right quick. Ryan said, hello, we're going back to Scott. Scott's point is so important because it's the way that this virus is, it's going to have seasons or seasonal. So I think travel industries are going to get pummeled. I mean, pummeled. And I don't think anybody's rushing to buy tickets to get on a cruise ship. I don't think there's very little travel right now. There are planes in Victorville, Nevada. There's miles and miles of these big planes from every big airline there is. So maybe those of you who love aviation might be able to get an airplane on the cheap in the future. Who knows? But being able to rise these birds again and get them to the same state means that we have to solve the virus issue because it's so viral. So to me, it's like trains and other things. We are at the great experiment right now, the great experiment in the world. And what is going to happen? Is it going to spread? Will we get a herd immunity, or will we get a vaccine? What's going to happen? And I know everybody's got their views on, yeah, the vaccine, no. Yes, I'd take the vaccine. We're not ready for that. And then other people are thinking, look, this is a government hoax. This whole thing. There are more people who died from this or cancer or whatever it is. And they feel as though their liberties are being infringed upon. And they don't want to have a government make up their mind for them about when they can work, when they can go out. This is liberty that they are moving from. So the whole world seems to be in this turmoil about this kind of, we are reopening. And so it's Monday. And people are in some states, in some areas, opening slowly and going back to work. And so what do the medical community say? The medical community, they're scared. They're worried that it is going to rev up again, and they're worried that it's going to fill their hospitals, and their hospitals are already swamped in certain areas. And it seems to be interesting where the spread is happening or how it's happening and where people are gathering. They want to go back to work. Let's talk about this right here. Teresa, nice to have you on. The people want to go back to work. What if their employers don't get up and running right now? How is opening up everything going to help those people? Yes, that is the question. What if their employers don't get up and running right now? What happens? And how is opening up everything going to help those people? I'm not sure, but I think the issue is income for bills and mortgages and food and children. And I think getting that back up to snuff so people aren't, they're still, even though we're in the middle of this pandemic, there are still electric companies and mortgage companies and everything else that are hassling people for being late on their payments, even though they have no payments coming in. And every single one of those bill collectors knows what's happening in the world and still does that. And I think I saw a woman yesterday who was at the town hall meeting with the president that I watched. And she said, I'm a single mom. I have a mortgage and bills. I got laid off from my job 4 months ago. Haven't found anything because everybody's on lockdown. I'm running out of food. I'm running out of, the bill collectors are calling saying, pay me, pay me, pay me. And she's about ready to lose the house that she's renting because she can't make enough money. You're a single mother of two kids. That's really a big deal. That's a hard thing to manage. And yet she was like, what are we going to do? How do we open that up? And I think there's a vast difference between, thoughts. It's like, okay, either I get the virus and possibly die, or I'm in the hospital for a long time and I get lots and lots and lots of bills from being in the hospital a long time, or I lose my job, lose my house, I mean, it's like you're taking a look at this bowl of crap and this bowl of crap and deciding which bowl of crap is the least crap I have to eat. And that's a hard future right there. And I think for some people, they shouldn't go back to work because it presents a possibility of them getting sick. And in this country, in the United States, getting sick can wipe you out financially. We do not have affordable health care. We have insurance companies running our medical. And so because of that, everything is super expensive. And so you're making choices that are not fun. Thank you for that question, though. I think that was really great. He also said SS Comfort can be repurposed. I'm not sure what that was. Social Security could be repurposed. Yeah, that's scary. So, good morning, all. Good morning, Marie Jo. I love when you're with us, by the way, my friend. I'm so glad you joined us today. Happy Monday. Let's see. And Karen obviously said, hi, MJ. And Barb comes out. I love this. Did you notice this is National Travel Tourism Week? And what is the U.S. Travel Association done to promote it? Exactly. Probably not much. There's not much is happening. It's interesting. I like this. Much to ponder, Teresa. That's a real thing. Much to ponder. I agree with that so much. I'm focused on what the transition back to work will look like. How's it managed? Will either strengthen or weaken corporate culture? Yes. And I think if we can get a lot of the going back to work from home, that would be great. But there's so much work from home that does not, absolutely cannot be done at home. And that's the scary part, is we start to rev up factories. We start getting, people back to work and in their jobs and mingling with each other and trying to be, create social distance at work. And how do you do that in a restaurant? Or what does it need to look like now? And what is the added expense to the owner of the business as they got to come in and put something in so that they can, stop the spread of the virus? And if so, it's like, what's the next rev up going to be? Will people who've had it get reinfected? I mean, there's so many unknowns about this. And I like this. That was a great question. We're all guessing at this point. Everything is in flux. Yes. So Ryan, there are so many aspects: family, health, economy. I agree so much. Scott says some Georgia small businesses opened over the weekend, but they had little to no customers. It's a lose-lose situation right now. And that's where I'm going to turn the conversation to in a little bit, because I want to read that. But this is the thing right now. Scott, you are really on it today. Thank you very much. Okay. What are you doing right now? What choices are you making in your life to navigate through the crisis and financial turmoil? Because I believe that will be there. This I love right here, Brian, is just like, eat the one with more veggies in it. Eat the one with more veggies in it. Okay, you got me. I'm not sure what that conversation was. Here is Stephen. Good morning, Stephen. I'm so happy to see you guys. I really have a need to be talking with you about this. It feels good to see your names pop up and everything else. Stephen says, how about my liberty? ? I will do what I have to do. I just hope people respect others. It appears there are many people who are only thinking about themselves. I feel for people who can't afford to pay their bills. I believe there's a process, but there is too much finger pointing from the top down. I agree. There's so much judgment right now, and there shouldn't be. This judgment shouldn't be there. Now, what about my liberty? I'll do what I have to do. I just hope people respect others. And so that means we have to respect where people are at, and people are in different places. And sometimes that stress of, I'm not sick, my family's not sick, and everybody's not sick. There's nobody in my neighborhood not sick. So why should I not go back to work? And yet then in New York, There's like, you're like masking yourself because there's so many people have it, and so many people are dying from it right now there. And so it'd be a little scary. Kara's exactly precisely bringing the point of creating the transition we want, not what we fear. Processing and revisioning are necessary. I don't know who that is, but I love that. And I believe it's probably Ryan. Thank you, guys. Teresa says, I like this. Governor Cooper of North Carolina has issued an executive order that prevents utility companies from disconnecting services or harassing people for payments for 90 days. Fantastic, Governor Cooper. Thank you. North Carolina, forward thinking. Look at this. Good morning. Good morning, all. And I'm going to, I know it's Chand, but Fui Chan. I'm sorry if I slaughtered your first name. If you could spell that phonetically, I'd love to be able to say it right. Good morning and welcome to the Coffee Break Show. And so looking today, it's a tough transition, but as consumers, we can make those decisions whether we want to go into the stores and whether we want to go in the businesses. And just like Scott said it earlier, the mall opened, but nobody showed. I mean, and why would you? I mean, wouldn't you be taking a risk? It's a risk going grocery shopping right now. And the Costco lines are just on and on and on. And there's distancing circles where you have to stand according to. So we look at the future of everything and we can see this is the truth. Everything is teetering. Everything. And we have to accept that. That's the number one thing we have to accept. Everything in the whole world, not just in your world, not in just your neighborhood, not just there. Everything is teetering. And we don't know in the teeter, we have some hints of what might be happening. In the teetering, the best thing you can do is watch what are wealthy people getting rid of in stocks. Because what wealthy people are selling off in stocks and what wealthy people are buying is a hint about what it is in the economy, which way they think it's going to go. So everybody knows travel's dead. I mean, it's decimated. It's tipped in a way that travel is it's just dead right now. And we have negative oil. In fact, if you go on the internet and you go out and you look at the helicopters that are flying out over the Pacific, over LA, San Diego, Dana Point, all of them, you'll see that there are oil tankers completely full of oil that can't get into port. We don't want the oil. And they're like, we'll pay you to take the oil off our hands. That's how bad oil is right now. And so the world is teetering. Now, where the teetering will go, we're not sure. Some industries will be good and some industries will get decimated. And I do mean decimated. And travel and vacation packages, those gone. People are going to be at home, not risking going to countries where they vacation, where there are high amounts of this virus. So we are going to see industries collapse. We are going to see industries rise. And the thing is, in this teetering, in this collapsing, all green industries are going to rise. There's going to be a lot of shifting in that. So it's a tough transition. Here we go. I want to go here. The psychology of this event must be addressed and not ignored in order to return to productivity. And I want to talk about that. That is, I don't know who did this. Ryan, I hope it's you. I hope I'm giving credit to the right person. But Ryan, you are absolutely right. There is a lot of psychological stuff happening right now. A lot. There's fake news, real news, just plain out propaganda, some real actual facts that are being completely ignored. Nobody's looking at them. And people are confused as to what should I pay attention to? What should I read? What should I do? What's my plan? What's my plan for the future? What's going to happen? Where's, if you take a look at what's happening in the airline industry, you will see gajillions of dollars collapsing. I mean, there's just job losses, everything else that is happening, cutback after cutback after cutback. We don't know in the unknown zone. But just in that one industry, which is travel, travel is what makes the world go around. The world, it's slowed down, it's go around. Where you are is where you are. That travel thing is completely disrupted in such a way. The industries that are in the travel space, which are vacations and hotels, and they're all affected in that. It's that trickle down crap that happens. This is the trickle down effect of having one industry take such a hit. Okay, so the psychology of that is people are losing their identity of who they were. I was a pilot. I'm a pilot. I've been a pilot for 20, 25 years. I've been, with United, and we've done these things. And now I don't know who I am or what I should be or what I could be or what's there for me. Because right now, I don't know if FedEx is hiring pilots. I don't know what you see. You lose your identity. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur. I had, 5 clothing stores, and now the mall is like, they lose their identity. I'm not sure who that is. This is a place where that psychological piece, that lostness, I went to work 9 to 5 and I was really good at my job. And suddenly my job has been evaporated into the air and I'm not sure what to do because there are no jobs. And here's the thing. This happened, but we had been planning for the disruption of AI and robotics to come and wipe out millions and millions of jobs, millions. And so the pandemic kind of hurried that up. Some people don't have jobs to go back to. And that's where this psychological profile of, holy crap, my whole life got decimated. How am I going to take care of and protect me and my family? How am I going to make sure that me and mine are safe? That is a product where people are like, there's nothing to go back to. That could create fear, and it could create depression. It could create disillusionment, like you're doing so well, and the carpet gets pulled right out from under you. I think this is one of the most important things to look at, because desperate times make desperate people. And we have to be careful that we're loving and all the time. The best time to plant your tree is 20 years ago. You got that right, sister. The second best time to plant your tree is today. If you weren't prepared for this challenge, take command now. This is now. It may be hard, but you can do it. In fact, we are putting together something that's huge. It's going to help be a survival plan for millions of people, and we are going to be sharing it with you. Too much unknown. Lots of people are still very scared. Yes, that's right. There's too much unknown, and a lot of people are very scared. There's a lot of uncertainty. But the thing is, usually it's like in the 2008 crash, it was America that was teetering. And when we fell, there was a domino effect. This is everything falling all at once. It's like the travel industry in Italy, or in, let's just say the travel industry in Europe and China and Asia, and it doesn't matter where you go. All travel industries around the world have been hit all at once. All cruise ships around the world have been hit all at once. All vacation plans have been stopped all at once. It's like there are trillions of, it's like when you plan a vacation, a real one, most people plan it months and months and months ahead. We had months of, hi, we're going to go to Disneyland this year. Oh, we're not. All of that money gone, all of those travel places decimated. This is and it's not just Disney World in the United States, it's Disney World around the world. All those jobs, all those people. This is a time of actually, it's more than fear. It's almost shock and fear. And it's shock. And then the fear says, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? And this is not something people are going to wheeze through on the easy. This is going to be things that people need to put in place right now. Brian, you lost me. Is that your answer to everything? Eat more veggies? Because I'm with you there. Yes, she is. That is it. So here it is. I was discussing this last night, the psychological impact that will last for decades. Yes. I'm loving this. Blessings plus one, happy 100%. Whoever that is, thank you. Looking over here, which bowl of crap to take? The one with more veggies. There, that's funny. Okay, that's a good one. There it is. Hello, Hermio. Nice to see you on. I should have known. This is definitely you. So here, I want to go. Actually, the U.S. Travel Association has orchestrated a fascinating pivot. Brilliant, in my humble opinion. Well, I'm glad they're trying to do something. I don't think people are ready for it. And I hope that they do something really cool, because something really cool is what we need right now. One question that keeps rolling around is, if this is so deadly, why aren't emergency workers dropping like flies? Which begs the question, why are we still shut down? See, this is it. In the conversation today, this is the debate. Well, we do have quite a few, as a whole, workers that are down. They get COVID, and a lot of them have come back. We've had a few doctors die. The president was saying last night that one of his best friends just died, and it was like hours, just hours. And so the reason they are doing well, I don't know, but I think the places that have good PPE, they do well. And also, I know there are several medical professionals that have caught this. So we're going to go over here. I like this over here, MJ. Thank you for putting this in. It'll be hard for parents to go back to work if there's nothing in place for care of the children while they are at work. Yes, such a huge problem. I have not heard much about an alternative for summer day camps. I agree with that. I'm not sure states know what to do with that. I'm not sure the states actually have a plan for what are we going to do with all these children. All of these things that were in place are now teetering and demolished. And as we open up, I think family and parents are going to have to make, they're going to have to think about, do I want to do that? Do I not want to do that? MJ, Marie Jo, that was brilliant. Thank you for that. Scott says a business opens, but then who's got surplus disposable dollars to just drop on shopping? Now, I want you to think about that, because this is the point, isn't it? It's like, even if you open up, nobody's worked enough. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They don't have disposable income. So all those shops and everything else that are opening up right now, hoping customers come in, if you're a C-bill type business, your customer, it's going to be small, and everybody will want a discount and, something. Teens and younger folks have lost their minimum wage jobs. They're home streaming Netflix off their parents' accounts. They stay at home order when at home order when lifted will still be enforced economically long after all clear has been offered. Yes. That's the big deal right there. That's the problem right there. Do you see how the world is teetering? And the United States, it is going to be interesting to see that. Scott, love your insights today. Really love your insights. Want to go to Lori here. The longer we stay shut down, the more difficult it'll be for our economy to have any chance of returning to the same sense of normalcy. Yes. I want to say, I believe our economy is not going to return to normal, and that you need to kind of do something now that we do this. And so you bring up some good points, Scott. The domino effect takes so long to get those engines started. Here are the opportunities to explore alternatives. And many of you may be saying to yourself, what's the alternative out there? If businesses can't be there, and if jobs aren't there, what's the alternative? And that's a great question. And I want to say we're going to be doing a lot of this. Donnie, your timing is always great. Number one, you got to build and plant a garden right now. If you can organize a neighborhood community garden, do so. Number one thing we have to do, grow food. History is repeating itself. Many of the stories my grandma Naomi shared with me about our old family farm, ranch, and food supply are happening again. Yes, the Great Depression. This is kind of the thing, isn't it? It's happening again. Let's see, Stephen, that's so true. People need to respect other people. We're in different places. Don't judge. Don't attack physically or emotionally. Help where you can. Yes, this is a time where unity in the community matters. This is a time where unity in the community matters. And when we get to that extra stretch, those people who graciously received what did they call it? That check, that stimulus check or whatever they call it, that check right there, a lot of people donated it to food banks so other people could go ahead and have food. And that's the point. It's like Jimmy Carter. I put the post up in there. Do with what you can with what you have to help the most people you can right now. And if that's I can only share an encouraging word. Do it. Share an encouraging word. Do something. Let's not be the problem. Let's be the solution. Thank you. Donald, you're a blessing as you remember the lessons that your family taught you as a child. Yes, he does. He's got a great memory. History does repeat itself, but may look different. This is not World War, but this is a world event completely disrupting globally. Yes, it is. Thank you so much. Stephen, the world is changing. Our world has made many adjustments after every significant emotional event. There was an impact after World War II and every emotional event that followed. As long as we stay focused on what is truly important, we will be okay. Take care of your neighbor. Donate more if you can. See that others are eating, and if you can help them pay their bills. Government can only do so much. However, we the people can make a difference. I want to talk about that because this government that only can do so much, it's true. Our government doesn't make anything. It doesn't produce anything to sell. Everything that our government gets comes from us, we the people. And if we the people aren't working, the government doesn't get anything. Do you get what I'm saying? And if we the people can't work, the government can't then say, okay, we need this. This is such this moment in time, this historical thing is very interesting because in World War II or other depressions, when the world wasn't so intertwined and connected, it happened to a country and we could help the country out. But when the whole world goes whoop, all by itself, the whole world, that's a different story. That's unprecedented. We've never been here before. This is a new thing. This is a new place. It's a new world. And we have to become more of our, almost like our ancestor skills come out. That's normal survival first, then deal with the other issues which are important to survival. So when we are looking at that, I like this. Please tell me how to say your name. Is it Fu Chand? Somebody help me out there. Fu Chand. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering your name. Grow food, connect with your family, mobilize and rise. Now, mobilize and rise. I want to talk about that. Where your community is, where you find answers, where you find information that is up to date, right then, that's where you need to be. There are so many things that we can do to make a difference. Yes, this is going to be a moment in time where the mother of invention comes to forward. This is the time where necessity is pushing it forward. This is a moment in space where everything that you can do is going to be the good old-fashioned way. It's going to get bootstrapped. There's probably not going to be a lot of money for people to go ahead and go borrow. They're trying to keep the businesses alive right now, the ones that are there just alive. Now, here's what I want to say. You can always go to Amazon and click. And the better, more powerful thing you can do is go to your neighbor's business and buy. Will it cost a little more? Yes, but that money stays in our country and it stays in our communities. And I want to say there has never been a more important time in our world to support local businesses than right now. Do not expect help from the government or other entities. We need to become self-sufficient and help each other right now. So what I want to say is, somebody says you're absolutely right. So many ways, mobilize and rise. Love it. Love this. Great conversation. Enjoyed your program. Thank you. I want to be able to say before we go today that the number one thing we can do is in our communities, our local communities, our local businesses, our local community farms. I don't care if neighbors have to get together and say, okay, let's grow a garden. Your support of your world right now has to be local. And I know that we can find stuff on flying by our feed on our news feed that say buy this or get this or do that, but we have to be very careful right now. The most important thing we can do is support our communities, our farms, our businesses, our leaders right here. Support them by spending your money in your own neighborhood. Support them by spending your money where you know you're helping out a family, where you know you're helping to keep that coffee shop in your area alive or that barbecue shack. Whatever you're doing, make sure that you are doing it in your own neighborhood. Yes, if there's a secondhand store, shop there. Whatever you do, make it so that your neighborhood thrives because of your love, your time, and your dollars. That's what I have for you guys today on the Coffee Break Show. Tuesday's going to be fun, but Wednesday's guest is absolutely one of the most important shows you're ever going to be on. We're going to talk about marketing on a shoestring budget, because this is what's going to be needed right now for businesses all over. We have an award-winning, best-selling author, Deborah Jason, is going to be on, and she is going to rock your world. You want to come with pencil and paper and learn all about that on Wednesdays at Wednesday Guest. You guys have a great week. I love you all so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Bye.